Hello students, I am Dr. Tanmoy Biswas. I welcome you all in my channel Chemistry, the Mystery of Molecules. Today's topic is very interesting topic, the science behind marination. So it's a combination of cooking as well as chemistry. By the way, by looking at this picture, my vegetarian student, do not get offended. See, marination is not only applicable for non-veg, it applicable for vegetarian foods also. Although majority of its use happens mainly for non-veg. So let's learn the basic. But before going to the details, one MCQ. I request everyone, please pause the video, try by yourself, and whatever answer you get, please write in the comment box along with few words as explanation. Don't worry, at the end of the discussion, you'll have the right answer. And this concept will be useful during the discussion. Now let's go. What is marination? Marination is a process of soaking meat, fish or vegetable in a seasoned liquid, flavor liquid, which is called as marinade. Purpose: increases the taste and hygiene of the food, and after marination the food is cooked gently to get the maximum taste as well as nutrition. So what is the purpose of marination? First of all, it enhances the flavor due to the spices and seasoning inside the food. It tenderizes the food by breaking down the muscle fibers, and finally it locks the moisture such that the food like meat will become juicy. So if you look at a good marinade, so what it has an acid, enzyme and oil and proper time. So we shall discuss every of the point in details. Now what is the role of acid? So commonly we use weak acid, means partially dissociated, produces less amount of H+, that's called weak acid. Now weak acid means lemon juice, citric acid, vinegar, acetic acid, tamarind, tartaric acid, curd, lactic acid. Wine may have acetic acid, tartaric acid combination. Now if you use vinegar, I suggest you to use biologically produced or fermented rather than produced from glacial acetic acid, which is produced in industry by chemical processes. What is the role of this acid? It actually lowers the pH and it denatures the muscle protein. By the way, when we heard the word denature, there is a question that is really it's healthy to consume denatured food? If you think denatured food, it is not good to consume, but if you think denatured protein, it's not bad. Why I'm saying, for example, you have a protein which has 4 kind of structure: primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary, all kind of structure. Now if you put some adverse condition, this secondary, tertiary or quaternary structure can be broken and the biological activity of the protein could be lost. So technically we call this denature, but denature does not mean it is not eligible to eat. For example, boiled egg, you have consumed it, it goes inside your body, it get digested, or that peptide chain, polymeric chain is broken down into smaller unit, I mean amino acid, and that absorb in your body. So that's not bad for your health, so do not get confused. Now it tenderizes the surface but does not penetrate deeply, so important point. And overuse of acid make the meat mushy, so people don't like it. Now if you think one question, that's okay, fine, acid breaks down protein, but if you look at this protein, actually this is the primary structure. I'm showing the covalent bond. Is it really easy to break the covalent bond? I mean this region. Answer is no. Why? Because if you look at, there is a resonance structure of this amide or peptide group. Because of that, there is a double bond. You can see this carbon nitrogen bond have double bond. So you can say, sir, this carbon nitrogen bond has partially double bond character, so this is stronger bond. So stronger bond means difficult to break, and weak acid is not enough. However, this weak acid can destroy secondary, tertiary and quaternary structure. So do not get confused that way. Now let's go to the second point, role of enzyme. By the way, enzymes are biocatalysts. Now what is catalyst? Catalyst is a substance that take parts in a chemical reaction, changes the rate of the reaction. Actually it speeds up the chemical reaction and at the end remain unaffected because it is regenerated during the process. So that's why very small amount of enzyme or biocatalyst is enough. Why bio? Because they produced in biological cells. Now if you look at natural enzymes presence in papaya, like papain, pineapple has bromelain, kiwi has actinin. By the way, I guess many of you have seen that if you want to cook mutton, that time along with all the spices etc, people add little bit amount of papaya paste such that the meat should cook easily, means during the marination. That is the role of this enzyme. By the way, it can also break down the peptide bond. I agree it's breakdown difficult, but enzymes are very powerful because of its very unique active site structure. So they can break the primary structure of peptide bond, and that's why it becomes softened. See, if it is softened, it's broken down, means already some part of digestion is done out of your body. If it is cooked properly, tissue is soft, then it is easy to digest, you will get better nutrition. But very important point that it is very powerful, these enzymes. That's why over marination leads overly soft texture. Many of you may not like it. So that's why proper balance of amount of enzyme is essential. Next point is role of salt. Salt kills germs of food by osmosis. What is mean by osmosis? If you have a low concentration region, for example inside cell like chicken tissue, and outside you have a high salt concentration area, means in the marination region outside. So what happened in case of osmosis? Actually the cell membrane is actually SPM or semi permeable membrane. So the water molecule from the cell or inside the cell comes out to the high concentration region until the concentration difference goes or the concentration gradient is neutralized. So this is actually osmosis. So it can kill the germs and food. So it's actually disinfecting. How? So if you think there is a piece of some food, so from here water is coming out due to this osmosis, high concentration of salt outside. Now there are some germs outside. It could be fungus, it could be bacteria. So from this bacteria also water come out. Consequently this bacteria will squeeze, it will die. Means your food is far more superior, germ free. That's a very important use of salt. Next, salt draws out water initially, but ultimately it helps to bring back during the cooking. Next, it helps the flavor for deep penetration, and it can alter protein structure. Which kind of structure? Secondary, tertiary, quaternary, primary not. So why? Because if you look at salt, mainly we use sodium chloride. So when you dissolve NaCl, Na plus ion and chlorine minus ion, both are solvated. Now if you look at the secondary, tertiary, quaternary structure, there are some weak interactions present there, like hydrogen bond, some other dipole-dipole interaction, etc. So in presence of some extra ion or ionic compound, the ionic strength changes. So that's why the protein structure also changes. So indirectly that's a digestion to some extent, and it also improves the juiciness and moisture retention. And it is essential for balanced marination and taste also. Without salt you will not have the proper taste, so you will not be able to enjoy. Next is role of fat and oil. By the way, when people listen about fat, they become very much curious. Really, can we make the food fatless? Answer is no. It is not good to make the food fatless. Actually student, remember, fat is not bad, but the over consumption of fat or oil is bad for health. Now it even worse when you have a sedentary lifestyle. So we understand that oil is not bad, over consumption of oil is bad. Now what oil does during the cooking? So oil distributed the heat properly from the container to the food and avoid burning or sticking to the container. Now in this context someone can say, sir, we can use non-stick cooker, but remember non-stick cooker has a coating of Teflon, which is not good for health. When you cook on Teflon container, very small amount of Teflon get mixed with the food, and that's not good. I have already made a dedicated video. If you want, you can watch. Now another is a cast iron thing. Okay, that also behaves to some extent non-stick cookware, but many people have their own priority. So many people do not like, sometimes color changes, etc, etc. I'm not going in details. So if you have oil, so oil creates a layer between the food and the container such that the sticking does not happen. Second thing, oil helps to transfer heat properly. Why? Because oil has very low specific heat, means it transfers that energy or heat very quickly, and it distributes the heat properly such that the cooking happens evenly, and it coats the food. It can help to dissolve the flavors. I shall come after some time. And it improves the texture and mouthfeel. So oil is very important, very helpful. Now one thing you can do, you can say, okay sir, let's consume less amount of oil. Now there is a chance that food may get burned. Agree. For that purpose you can do slow cooking. If you use less amount of oil and do slow cooking, that problem of burning or stickiness could be avoided to some extent. Oil is important. Overuse of oil is bad, and it can cause cholesterol related issues. By the way, if you have any query to learn about cholesterol thing, bad cholesterol, good cholesterol, trans fat, etc., you may visit. I made one video about it previously. Next, if you look at the structure of spices, because I told that it helps to retain flavors, herbs and spices. If you look at this type of compound, they are hydrophobic or hydrophilic. Look at majority of them are hydrophobic. Now you can say, sir, turmeric, there is a OH, 3 OH group in this molecule. By the way, apart from this remaining part, they're hydrophobic. Now, in order to neutralize your doubt, you can take little bit turmeric and same amount of water and oil and put it. Check the solubility, you'll understand. Herbs are mainly hydrophobic or fat soluble, so that's why very small amount of fat or oil's presence is very helpful here. Now if you think that, okay, how this is happening, now let's look at the structure of fat or oil. Now if you look at this, fat or oil is actually a triglyceride ester of long chain fatty acid. This part is long chain, so that causes or that induces the hydrophobicity. Okay, so that's why they are easily soluble or miscible with the fat. Now what kind of medium is good to trap smell? That's actually oily kind of medium. Now if you look at, there are structures of many herbs and spices, chemicals present. By the way, I guess you'll not be able to see it. Type in Google, you can check it. Next, time and temperature, very important. Now marination is a time dependent process. For different food, different marination time is recommended. Now you may think that, okay, different kind of protein food has different extent marination, because it's someone is very soft, someone is very hard, like that. If you look at fish, it takes nearly 15 minutes to 30 minutes for marination. For chicken, 2 to 6 hours, little harder, and red meat is even take more, now 6 to 24 hours. Now you can say, sir, if I do marination 6 hours to 24 hours, isn't there any chance for bacterial growth? Answer is yes. How that could be deal? One is refrigeration prevents bacterial growth, because low temperature reduces the enzymatic activity and bacterial growth. Second thing, we have previously discussed about the role of salt. It kills germ. So salt is always present at the beginning, so that's why this bacterial growth could be avoided from that time onwards. Now, too long marination can damage the texture and taste, so choose wisely, follow particular recipe or recommendation if you want to have a maximum benefit. Now, summary, what you have learned: acid modify protein such that it's easy to digest, enzyme deeper tenderization, salt avoid moisture retention, flavor, oil carry forward flavor and texture, proper time and temperature important. By the way, student, remember, sometimes people think, okay, which one should better, more cooked food or less cooked food? Now it depends on person to person. Personally, from scientific perspective, I say more cooked food is better. Means already it is cooked, soft, you can chew it, break into very small pieces, so extent of digestion will be better. If digestion is better, obviously nutrition extraction will be better from that food, so that's far more helpful. Now, very important statement: food is good when it provides you nutrition, satisfaction and safety from infection. But remember one very important statement: anything in excess is dangerous to health. That's why please do not consume more food compared to your body's requirement. By chance, if you consume, do proper activity, exercise, such that you can maintain a healthy life. Remember, whatever food you are consuming today, it is not the last food for you. So health is very important. Next, MCQ. Which kind of functional group is the backbone? Obviously, I've discussed is the amide group. Now, ether functional group present, it present in carbohydrates or sugars. Now, ester functional group present in fat. I have shown the oil or fat. By the way, sometimes people have a doubt. What is the difference between fat and oil? This side chain. Oil has lots of unsaturation in the side chain. But if you look at on fat, means animal fat I am talking, the extent of unsaturation is less. So this is the overall discussion. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.